Me hugging that trophy, that's my love right there.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Think Big Bodybuilding Media. I'm Scott McNally, and today back with me on the microphone is Alyssa Kiessling after having just won at the New York Pro. What is up? Congratulations.
What's going on, Scott? Thank you so much.
This is incredible, huh? This is like, this is one of the biggest IFBB shows there is. Let's say the Olympia, number one, right? Arnold, probably second. And then from there, New York Pro is probably the next biggest show out of all the shows that exist. And that's
Yeah.
where you decided to make your pro debut. And you made some incredible progress too. So that's one of the things, guys. So this is what I want to do today. I've got a bunch of questions for Alyssa that a lot of our listeners had sent in. We're going to get to all that stuff. But one of the things I really want to talk about is the progress that you made between having turned pro at Junior Nationals in 2018 until just a few days ago at the New York Pro 2021. Because that's freaking incredible. You have like a completely different physique at this point. You realize that, right?
I do, but I also still I do realize I have a whole new physique, but I still feel like I see what I've always seen, you know?
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
see what I've always seen every time I've competed. I see what I've seen, but I've seen what I've envisioned now. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. No. I know exactly what you mean. Like you see yourself in the off season and you visualize what you're capable of. Do you feel like how close do you feel like you reached that vision, that perfection of what you want to look like? How close do you feel like you reached that for this one?
For this one, I think I surpassed what
Yeah?
I thought I could bring. Yes and no. I believe that I can always get better, and I know I will get better. But for this event this past weekend, I think what I saw on stage surpassed my expectations. I'm very happy, and I knew what I was bringing. But I mean, I don't know. I guess you could say that my expectations are always just being set higher and higher.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just set it too high for myself, so now I got to top
Yeah.
that.
I've got a few of your pictures here. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people who have seen this stuff, but I want to pull some of these up because this is freaking exciting. I mean, your level of conditioning here compared to the last time I saw you on stage was like, it's not even comparable. I want to know,
Not at all.
how you achieved this. I mean, what was different about this prep to be able to make this happen? Because that was the first thing I saw in you was A, you were a lot, fuller, rounder, a lot more muscle, but then B, just that conditioning blew me away.
So training and diet and supplementation wise, everything was just more simplistic. And I've been I've been living in Texas for the past 2 years, and it's just been straight living the bodybuilding lifestyle, eat, sleep, train clients, you know the whole deal. But
Yeah.
it's been no junk. Well, I can't say no junk food. There was a time period where I pushed junk food, but I had such a good off season last year. You know, when quarantine hit and all that,
Yeah.
shows were getting pushed back. So I just did a professional off season,
Okay.
which I did that on my own, and that led into a really simple, easy, landing the plane nice and smooth for a prep with my coach Hyson.
Nice.
So
Nice.
having a very good off season leading into a good prep.
How long was your diet for this one?
He asked me at 12 weeks out, he said, I got three questions for you. Are you financially, are you emotionally, are you physically ready to compete in 12 weeks?
Yeah.
And I said yes when I should have said no to all three of those answers.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, yeah, I wasn't financially or emotionally, mentally, physically. I was not ready at all, man.
But
Like,
you still did it though. You still made it and you still obviously succeeded.
yeah, so at 12 weeks out, he asked me that, and I'm in prep for 3 weeks, right? And at 9 weeks out, I moved back home to Florida.
Oh
I was
shit.
on the road on 9 weeks out, that Saturday, I was on the road for 17 to 18 hours.
Yeah.
It's about a 14-hour drive from where I was at in Texas to Florida, but there's like three wrecks, which held me up for a couple hours. So I was lost of sleep. I was drinking like my cream of rice with my protein, eating cold meals. I know everyone has their story, but at the end of the day, that's what I dealt with. But I set myself up. I got myself and went through that at 9 weeks out to have a peaceful 9 weeks of prep.
Okay.
So,
They say that
yeah,
moving is one of the top most stressful things that a human being can do. They say like it's some of them I think are like losing a pet, losing a job, moving. It's all right up there, like the end of a
on top of a
relationship.
breakup, on top of a
I was
breakup.
just kind of fishing there. That was my tactic.
Yeah, but again, I knew what I had to do and I did it, and I'm set up for my success and to make myself happy and to make me a better me.
Right
That's
on.
all you can do.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes it sounds like you had some tough decisions to make in there. But then the last 9 weeks, let me ask you this. Once you got back to Florida, once you were settled, did you feel that sense of relief? Like, okay, I know I did what I needed to do. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, every second of that next Sunday, I came to my parents. I was at my parents and I woke up and I was right back in routine. I was supposed to train that Saturday, but we ended up, taking a unscheduled day off that Saturday because I was on the road,
Yeah.
obviously. But that next Sunday, I was up. I didn't have a gym yet, so I walked my dog for cardio, got back in routine with my food because my mom helped me out. And my very first coach in bodybuilding let me into the gym. She trained with me. Like I'm just back in my home turf,
Yeah.
my surroundings. So I've like people that love and take care of me, and they support me, and they were there for me. So
Yeah. That's cool.
it there, yeah, even just that 17 hours on the road, it didn't throw me off not one bit. Just lost a
Nice.
little bit of sleep, but that's all.
Right on. Right on. That's cool. So it sounds like that last 9 weeks, then you really were able to nail it down. Then, um, was it a hard diet?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I think the hardest day of the diet was that day on the road.
Making the decision and then carrying it out and driving. Yeah.
No, just being on the road, having to, eat cold meals and
Ah,
drink cream of rice, and just doing it and sticking to the plan when I was going through what I went through. It was just tough, and it wasn't tough to eat and it wasn't tough to drink. It was just tough mentally, and I never gave up through it. So that was the roughest day. But diet wise, I was never hungry. We ended up doing a refeed that next Sunday when I got back because you could even tell that drive like depleted me.
I
had a
bet.
sunken in phase at 9 weeks out.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so we did a big sushi refeed, and then, that I was good then. I was good to go.
That's cool.
So never it, yeah, and there was refeeds here and there throughout the prep, but it was no cheat meals.
Okay.
So I didn't have any issues with the diet.
So what part of Florida are you in?
I'm in like the armpit, so it's called Panama City.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So you're further
Yeah.
up. And from what I understand of Florida, now I've driven just parts of Florida, but that's a long freaking state. So what kind of distance are you from like down by like Tampa area where like all the bodybuilding is happening, you know?
So it's a 5.5 hour drive to Tampa,
Okay.
which is nothing for me.
Okay.
That's just a little hop and a skip. And then it's about, I mean, Tampa's the main spot for me.
Okay.
I'm actually going down there. I'm going down there this weekend. I have plans. I'm driving down Saturday night,
Right on.
and Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I'm training, and then coming back on Wednesday.
Nice. Anybody we know that you're training with? Anything interesting, exciting you can tell us about going on down there?
You may not know of him. His name's Fred Bank. He actually trains Derek Lunsford.
Oh, okay,
Um,
cool. Yeah, no, I'm not familiar
if you
with him, but
if you ever see any of Derek's training videos, you might catch Fred like spotting him and stuff. But when I went down to Tampa a few years ago, I met Fred, and he knows what he's doing in the gym like I do, and like we don't have to discuss anything. We just work together like that. So this past weekend, he was like my wingman. He was the MVP. He came and helped me. You know, I went down there alone, so I didn't have anybody. My coach is in France, you know, so Fred met me on Fridays for check-ins in the tan, and then he came on Saturday and was with me the whole day and just was the MVP, man. You know, it's hard. I could have done it myself, but just having someone there
It
to just
helps.
hold my bag or someone to come see when I get off stage and just, you know, he helped glaze me and pump me up and all that. So he is a crucial part to my prep now because I've allowed him to come in and he's now going to help me with training, posing.
That's
So
cool. That's cool. So we've talked kind of a little bit about the prep. We've talked about the condition. At the beginning, I mentioned the muscle that you've been able to develop over the past couple of years. I mean, it hasn't been a long time, and like I said, you've grown a lot. Can you tell us a little bit about how would you describe your training techniques? I guess I'd say.
let's describe it as so I like to have good form, okay? But I do like to have crazy intensity. But you got to know like when to apply the intensity. So with my coach Hyacinth Nasir, it's more of the progressive overload. You know, you warm up with the feeder sets into the top sets, and then the top set is your high intensity set. And then I instinctively train. Like my coach gives me my workouts, but I instinctively know like, okay, if something feels weird this day, I gotta switch from the hack squat to something else, like a safety bar squat, or I just my body tells me what to do before I do it, and I just listen.
Yeah.
But I train like a maniac,
What's
heavy,
what
heavy.
in your opinion? What are the things that you see other women not doing that they should do? Because I already see like I have I see women that have messaged on Instagram here when they saw I was going to do this interview to ask questions and stuff, and I see they look
Hmm.
at someone like yourself and they're like, I want to achieve that. What are some of the things that you see women not doing that they should do if they want to achieve what you've achieved?
Man, it's hard to pinpoint like one specific thing because I think the way that I developed this physique is just a reflection of who I am as a person.
Hmm.
Because the way that I am as a person, I'm a tomboy. I can pro I can probably outboy a boy. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very athletic. So it's just I'm not I don't want to be a man. I'm not trying to be a man, nothing like that. It's just my natures. I grew up, I loved wrestling. Okay. I
Okay.
like to skateboard. And then that all turned into wrestling is the working out part and skateboarding is the posing part. So now
Ah,
that just blended into my bodybuilding. So whenever I train, it goes WWE style.
yeah, yeah.
And then
Okay.
whenever I pose, it gets more flowy with the skateboarding. So it's just a culmination of what I am. But now, if you're trying to develop something that looks like me, you can't switch nothing up. You have to be 1000% consistent. I guess that's the
Mm.
only thing that I can advise because I don't change anything. I don't do nothing different. What I do now is the same thing I've been doing since I started bodybuilding.
Okay.
Obviously, there's things that have changed, variables that differ now, coaches, diet, cardio, like supplements and cardio and all that, but the routine, the regimented consistency, dedication, everything that's never changed along the way.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because it takes an incredible level of intensity to train the way you're describing. And we've talked about that intensity before, and I've seen some of your training, and of course, I've seen some of your posing. But I'm going to tell you, when I watched this routine, I watched the live feed. I wasn't there in person, but when I watched this routine, I was like, I was moved by it, like flat out. I thought what you did was really cool. This was like I saw you
Thank
too.
you.
If you remember, I was at Junior Nationals 2018. I was in the audience there when you turned pro, so I saw that, and that was cool, and it was a good routine. But this was like the best way I can describe it is, like Terrence Ruffin is a guy, is a posing guy, and when I saw him at the Olympia this past year, I felt like he was like completely self actualized on stage and he was like owning it. And that's exactly what I saw in you. You were like owning what you did. And the way you kind of changed. In fact, I've got the video here. Let me see if I can throw this up while we're talking. The
Yeah,
way that you changed things, like as you were posing, that like you changed tempos and attitude and stuff like that. That was cool. Let me see if I can kind of fast forward up a little bit here for anybody listening on the audio. Sorry, guys. Even like this attitude you had while you're coming out. And then I almost feel like, let's see. You've got power.
That I freestyled this.
Did you really?
Yeah, we'll talk about it after we watch this part, but
All right.
yeah, I freestyled this.
You have power in it, but at the same time, because like you said, you know, we've talked before, and you said like you've got the whole tomboy thing going on. I was like, but at the same time, she's like super elegant. Let me see if I can move us out of the way here a little bit. There we go. That'll be better.
My coach had the whole prep. He's like, "Don't hit the most muscular on stage." Okay. Yeah. I'm like, okay. And look, I had hit it one time in the routine, but afterwards I followed up with a real elegant side chest.
Look at that. Yeah. That back shot.
And these two poses right here are ones that I specifically, I mean, I freestyled it, but I made sure I hit them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there was poses that I wanted to hit and make sure I hit.
Let me see if we can get the volume up here too. That's a great shot on you right there.
Yeah, I love that one. I was squeezing hard right there.
And then here the vibe changes here. You got the smile on your face. And it's just like, I could tell you're having fun with it. And you're the only girl I know that can hit a most muscular.
I love it.
Like, you just look so confident. That's really cool right there, too. Sorry for the audio listeners who aren't able to see this. You'll have to go to the YouTube. Check it out there.
That's that picture that they got.
Yeah, that's a great shot. Keeps your waist, like you can see how small your waist is, really accentuates it. Plus, you nail the vacuum. Your back shots are really strong.
And you know what? That's my weakest side.
Yeah, that was badass.
Yeah, so listen, the routine is something I didn't want to think about at all. I promise you, I didn't think about it not one time. It would pop up into my head as I'm laying down, getting ready for bed, trying to fall asleep, and I would start thinking about the routine. And then it's like I'm listening, because I know that song off the back of my head. So I'm like, I hear the song playing in my head, and then I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like I'm overthinking it. So then I make myself stop thinking about it, right? And then the Thursday night and Friday night before the show, when I was in the hotel room going to bed, I start like getting anxiety because I don't have a routine planned.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's the New York Pro, and I really don't have a routine planned. And Santi Aragon's posting about how he's so excited to see my posing routine, and everyone I know is just ready to see my posing routine, and I really have nothing planned.
Yeah.
So that's just me up there on stage. That's what I do. You know, that's me. That's nothing. Yeah, I had the poses planned that I wanted to hit.
Yeah.
But I can't choreograph it.
How
I told everyone
how often do you practice hitting poses?
Every day.
Okay, so everything
I'm
you're
a
doing
posing
is smooth.
coach.
Yeah, so everything you're doing is smooth.
I teach. And I'm constantly, like how I'm on this FaceTime with you is how I work with my posing clients. So I'm constantly always posing. It's like natural to me.
Yeah, yeah. So being able to assemble those things, at that point, it's just like putting together the words into a sentence is really what it comes down to.
Literally, you said it. Yep, that's perfect. That's the best way to put it.
That's cool. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, that was it was moving, and it was so nice to see you nail it. And it's interesting because, you know, things like dance, things like a posing routine, you can really like if you do it well, somebody who could do it well, it conveys something. I can't put it into words. I don't think that we should have to be able to put it into words, because if we could, that's the way I look at good art. If you can put it into words, then was it really something that needed to be done anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Like what you did was its
Mm-hmm.
own thing. You know, there aren't words for
Mm-hmm.
it. So that was incredible. That was fun.
Thank you. That was
So
fun being up there doing it.
how did it feel when you were standing up there and they were calling the people out, and they were calling out the placings, and they hadn't announced your name yet, and there were fewer and fewer women standing around you?
Well, when it got down to me and Sharonica, I already knew that's what it was going to come down to at the end of the day, because of prejudging. But I don't expect to win, and I never expect to win. I don't go into a show thinking I'm going to win.
Yeah.
So whenever they did call her number and I realized I won, it was just like oh my God, man, like, oh my God, like I don't like it's just everything that I went through and how I just chose myself really,
Yeah.
and it came to fruition. It was just, I guess, kind of life changing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's emotional every time I think about it, because like me hugging that trophy, that's my love right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I could imagine
That picture right there. Yeah.
it had to be almost surreal too, you know, to be up there
Yeah,
and
and
to be like, this is mine. And it had, you know what, too? That is such a freaking beautiful trophy, isn't it? I was so pumped for you. I was like, she gets to take that home.
I know, it's so beautiful. I walked I would forget. It's like I was standing on stage and they gave me the trophy, and then she tells me I'm going to the Olympia, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
forgot. And then they tell me I'm getting a check, and I'm like, oh, I forgot. And then I know I ended up watching the rest of finals, and when I went back up to my room, a big old trophy on my bed with an Olympia jacket, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I forgot.
That's so
It's
cool.
just amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
I remember Luke Sando when he took, it was, I think, third at the Arnold, and my friend VJ and I, we walked backstage with him, and it was just the three of us, and he was getting dressed, and he had this check, and he was like, I forgot I get paid for this. Like, I actually made money here,
Uh-huh.
you know? What did they pay out
It's
at the New York Pro?
I got 2 grand.
Okay, cool. That covers
Yeah,
a lot of
not bad.
chicken, you know?
Hey, hey, I got sponsored by an amazing meal prep company. Let me
Oh, no
shout them
kidding.
out
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
don't have to pay for chicken anymore. So let me shout out Made to Macros. Her name's Alexis. She lives in Tampa. Her company's called Made to Macros. Follow them on Instagram, but she's doing my chicken and my salmon for me.
Okay.
And then over the weekend, she saved me with a bunch of jasmine rice because I definitely didn't bring enough.
Okay.
So she's amazing, and she's helping me out with food now. So that's a great addition on my team.
That's cool. That's really cool. Now, if people shop with her, do they have any kind of code or anything like that that they use, or?
I haven't set up a code with like me and her yet, no.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
like I know Nick Walker's with her. I know Guy's sister Nino uses Made to Macro.
Okay.
I'm not sure who else off the top of my head, but a lot of people down in the Tampa area use her.
All right.
She's
Cool.
great.
Well, definitely, of course, we'll have your contact info, all your social media and stuff down in the show notes. So if people want to check them out, they can link up with you there. I'm sure you'll have all the information that they need for that stuff. So I've got
Yeah,
a
buddy.
bunch of questions here from people that I
Let's
wanted to
see.
dig into. Yeah, so I put out a thing on Instagram stories this morning, and we won't have time for all of them, but I wanted to grab
Okay.
a good handful of them. All right. Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for watching another podcast here at Think Big Bodybuilding Media. And thank you to our great sponsor, TrueNutrition.com, for making this all possible. TrueNutrition.com is owned by Dante Trudell, the creator of DC Training. He wanted to create a supplement company that offered high-quality, third-party tested supplements at a fair price. High-quality protein powders, just about every type you could think of. Huge variety of flavors, plus health and performance supplements. Check them out, TrueNutrition.com. And hey, if you use our code ADVICES, you directly support our podcasting. Thanks, guys. Let's get back to the program. So since we were just talking about posing, this will be a good one to start with. Where do you go to for posing inspiration?
That so I will use Instagram.
Okay.
So if I'm just scrolling and I see anything on Instagram that I like, or I'll screenshot or just remember. I'm pretty good with memory. But a lot of stuff is just miscellaneous. American Idol,
Really?
YouTube videos, dance videos, yes, and not necessarily posing inspiration, but just posing is. You see how I pose, it's emotional. And if
Yeah.
you watch it's performing. American Idol is performing. Being on stage is performing. I draw a lot of inspiration from American Idol. Um, any dance videos. Uh, it's really random, honestly.
That's cool. We need to get you. We got to get you into like TikTok or something. Get you on like the TikTok dances. That'd
I
be.
have, I made one TikTok video.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's funny.
Let's see here. Ooh. What do you do when you doubt yourself?
I don't doubt myself.
Hmm.
I don't doubt myself. I trust myself.
You don't, because I feel like all of us have times where we question. You're telling me, like, what you're saying is like, you just don't let that in.
There's no thought of doubt. I know what I like. I either know or I don't want to know. You know, that's kind of confusing. If I know what I want and I know what I'm gonna get and I know what I need in life and I know what will stop me, so I got to get that out of the way. But
Ah,
doubt wise, I don't ever doubt. I don't doubt myself. It's just dealing with things in life. Not everything's gonna go perfectly as planned. So
yeah.
it's just learning how to adapt and how to recover. So you just gotta learn how to live. You don't doubt yourself. There's no doubt. You can't get nowhere if you're doubting yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be
And you
easy
can't
to
you
be
can't you
like,
can't
go
you
ahead.
can't run a business. You can't train yourself. You can't think good thoughts. You can't do nothing if you're doubting yourself. Now, if there is a situation where you do find yourself doubting yourself, how would you go about that? Well, for me, I'm a spiritual person and I do believe in God. And I know some people do and some people don't. But for me, once you find yourself doubting yourself, that's where you've already lost your
Mm,
faith in God. So when you don't have faith, you're doubting yourself. So when you find yourself doubting yourself, for me, that means that you haven't put God first or you are losing your faith in God.
hmm.
So therefore, if you rekindle that faith with God, prioritize Him, everything will follow behind. You'll lose the doubt and you'll find yourself succeeding. I'm just speaking from
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. Hey, if it works for you, you know. Yeah, I could see, because I could see if you let that rule you, that's the kind of thing where you don't start a business, where you don't do the New York Pro as your pro debut, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, what else do we have
Absolutely.
here? This is a good one. How do you react when people question your femininity?
Man, I just play the role of a guy. I walk around assuming that people are gonna think I'm a guy because my voice is deep. If I have to wear a mask, you're already gonna assume I'm a guy. I don't even care anymore. I really don't, because at the end of the day, the only time that matters is when I'm on stage, and I'm on stage not talking.
Yeah,
So,
okay. But yeah, yeah, well, I think you do even with your posing like you're saying your coach was like don't hit the most muscular. That's a like a quote unquote that's like a masculine
true.
pose. So you're not afraid to step out and do those things and make them your own. That's the way
No,
I see
because
it.
I know I could be sexy, I could be feminine, I could be whatever you want, to like categorize me as, super feminine in
Yeah.
the female category, but that's not who I am.
Yeah.
I'm me. It's not like I'm trying to be a tomboy. That's just what comes out. I like to do fun stuff. I don't like to put makeup on and sit up in the house and cook all day. Like, I like to be outside doing stuff. I'm active.
That's why, like I said, with your routine, I was like, it was strong, it was powerful, it was deep, but at the same time, it was like beautiful, and elegant would be another word I would use. And that it almost caught me
Mhm.
off guard because I was like, damn, I didn't know she could be so elegant.
Now, see, that's where the name classical queen stemmed from,
Hmm.
because I know I'm a queen, but I don't have to go out and prove it to nobody,
Hmm.
because um, I'm not going to get too personal with anything, but I'll just say I know I'm a queen, and I know what I am, I know what I have, I know what I bring to the table, and I don't have to prove it to anybody, but when the time is to prove it, I'm able to.
Right on.
I
I like
guess I'll
that.
put it like that.
I like that. All right. This isn't a question, just a damn. She looks fucking amazing. Goals
Thank you.
times a million. Okay, this must have to do with. Oh, let's see. I don't know if this is a sponsor or something. Favorite cookie flavor and favorite Gaines bakery sauce. What's that?
Oh yeah. So I just got sponsored by Fat Polly's Cookies.
Ooh, that sounds
Fat
delicious.
Polly's Cookies are amazing. Let me just say that. My favorite flavor of Fat Polly's Cookies I had on Saturday night, it was a strawberry toaster pastry one.
Hmm.
It was
Okay.
really, 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 really good. Um, I ate the whole thing. Like I wanted to eat like half, but I found myself just going back and eating the rest of it. But now, check me out. So Fat Polly's also sponsors Nick Walker, and Nick Walker's got his own like limited edition flavor. It's called the Ass Man Cookie. It's like a red velvet chocolate chip with
Ooh.
some s'mores, and it's really good. It's really good.
Now, is there anything healthy
Now,
about these, or are they like just straight up,
no.
just okay, just cheap food? All right, I like it that
They're
way.
they're they're not healthy, but they're high quality. They don't use like Crisco and a bunch of fillers and stuff to make them super big. They're a normal sized cookie, which honestly I prefer.
Yeah,
I can't even eat a lot of sweets and sugary stuff, but one cookie is like the perfect little boom, like little dessert, like post cheat meal.
yeah,
Perfect.
nice.
So then the Gaines Bakery sauces. So in New Braunfels, Texas, when I was living over there, I found out about this little bakery. It's ran by Ross Flanagan. He's an IFBB pro bodybuilder. He turned pro at nationals last year.
Okay,
He's coached by Dominic Cardone. So Ross Flanagan and his wife own a cafe called Gaines Bakery. They make like keto donuts and cakes and little tacos and meals like that. But they have this line of sauces. So they've rebranded. It's called the Flavor Gang. Okay. Now the Flavor Gang, they have SMV. It's sriracha maple vinaigrette.
huh?
That's my staple. I put that on all my proteins. So that's basically like my protein marinade. And then so
Sriracha
basically
what?
like
Sriracha what vinaigrette? Did you say maple?
sriracha maple
Huh?
vinaigrette. Now,
That
let
sounds
me say
good.
this. These are healthy. They're 0 calorie. Some are zero, but some have like 10 calories.
All right.
So the sriracha, okay, you put that on your meats, your proteins, and then they've got like sweet poppy. It's like a sweet mustardy. It's really good, man. The sweet poppy sauce. They got the mutant Nick Walker sauce, which it's like a gingery Korean barbecue sauce. My favorite is called the Sauce Boss. It's the smoking sweet poppy, so it's kind of like a Chick-fil-A flavor to it.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really, really good, really, really good. And then they got Yum Yum, Tiger Sauce. I forgot what else. There's so many of them, but they're all so damn good.
Sounds like they need to come out with like a classic queen sauce now. Something that yeah that you.
We'll call it liquid gold.
There you go. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Um, okay. What was it like backstage at the New York Pro? And can you talk about your mindset, your pump up routine, your music playlist? So I'm guessing if like you had headphones on back there or something.
Nah, I didn't do none of that. It's all business backstage for me. I'm not like having to go through a whole process ordeal. For me, I already know what I'm doing. So I just, I went backstage, found my spot, laid down, kicked back. It was cold, small, and there was nothing to pump up with.
Nice.
So during pre, yeah, I know. So during prejudging, I didn't have sweatpants on. I was wearing shorts with no socks, so my legs were cold.
Mm.
So when I went back for finals, I went to my same spot, but I brought a towel and a hoodie this time and covered myself up and just laid down and stayed warm. And then when it was time to get ready, stand up, and my buddy Fred glazed me. And while I was glazing, I started eating a little bit of Rice Krispie and some honey, start loading a little bit, and then start pumping up. Now I brought my own band to pump up, thank God. Um, and I just pumped my back up, rows, lateral raises, the norm,
Yeah.
you know.
Now, some people will get nervous back there, and I think it can take away from them. Other people get invigorated, they hear the crowd out there and that gets them pumped up. Where do you
Yeah,
fall into that?
I'm neutral.
Okay.
I'm neither. Um, I I don't know how to explain it other than it's just if you know what you're doing, you shouldn't let your emotions get aroused. Like this shouldn't be a roller coaster of emotions. You should know where you're at and what you're doing at all aspects of the time.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a professional bodybuilder, but like I'm a professional like of the game. Like I'm a student of the game. I
Mm.
know what I'm doing. Like I said, I could have done this by myself and I planned to, but thank God for having Fred there with me. It was just more enjoyable and a little bit less stressful
Yeah.
having someone to help me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. That's good attitude too. It's I feel like a lot of people could learn from that, and even if they can't get it 100%, a little bit of effort, you could
Hmm.
get closer and closer to it. Um, Little prep talk here. How much cardio was she doing by the end of prep, and what type of cardio? Treadmill?
Oh yeah, just treadmill walk for 30 minutes.
Okay, that's it. 30 minutes. That's all you had to do. It's not bad.
And no cardio. And that's 5 days a week.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Hmm.
Wow. So you.
Again, when you're doing things right, you don't have to do nothing crazy. I did cardio all off season. I
Oh.
got a dog. I adopted a dog about 2 years ago, and ever since I adopted my dog, if I don't do fasted cardio, I'm taking my dog for a walk because it's her turn. So
Yeah.
either way, I'm getting some type of cardio in at some point in the day.
Yeah.
And that's just helped keep my condition at bay. Like I'm just boom, I'm good.
Nice, nice. I like that. Yeah, I think that's a big factor. I think for some women it can be really hard to get into good shape. If you don't let yourself get out of shape, it's obviously you're going to be a step ahead. I mean, 12 weeks is not a
Hmm.
long prep for anyone, let alone 12 weeks
Hmm.
for a female. That's a quick prep.
Hmm.
All
Yeah, and I
right.
changed a lot within those 12 weeks too, just those 12 weeks.
We got one more here. Another peak question, or another diet question. Wanted to ask her about her peak week and how she got so shredded. And they also want to know like what you did for water manipulation. So we're getting to some nerdy, sciencey bodybuilding stuff with this last one, I guess.
How did I get so shredded? I hired I hired Hyacinth Nasir. That's how.
All right.
Uh, that's literally how. I just that's the main variable that changed, and then the other question was manipulation. Nothing was really manipulated. We did pull back slightly and cut it like at 7 p.m. a day or two,
Okay.
but other than that, it wasn't really restricted whatsoever.
Yeah, I find that if you get into really, really good shape, like you were, you probably weren't
Hmm.
holding much water on, like, even a week out or 2 weeks out. I imagine you were pretty dry and tight.
Yeah, I could take like one sip of a water bottle and then have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like that water wouldn't even stick to me; it'd go right through me.
Yeah. 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 That's cool. Well, this has been awesome. This has been fun hanging out here and getting to catch up with you.
I
We've
know.
been wanting to do this for a
I know.
while.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have been. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the podcast and of you and Ron and Dusty and Dave and everybody. I love it. It's actually pretty cool, and I'm honored to be here doing this with you and have this be released in a couple of days.
Yeah,
So I'm pretty
absolutely. And,
excited.
my pleasure. And I'm always pumped. When you've shared our stuff and everything, I'm all like, oh yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool to see who's listening, who's watching the show. So we appreciate you too. And thank you for helping to, spread the word around.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's the game plan then between now and what is it, November?
October.
October. Okay.
Yeah. So
You're gonna eat a couple
game
more of those
plan. Not,
cookies, I bet.
yeah. But I'm gonna save them. I'm gonna save them for when the time is right. I'm not a pig. I don't have a bad relationship with food, and personally, I don't even crave that type of stuff. I just ordered way too many cookies,
That.
like while I was like in contest prep.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
was that satisfied me more than eating the cookies. Was just ordering them. But so the plan is, honestly, I'm going down to Tampa this weekend and starting this prep off with the freaking bang. So I'm gonna go down there and just get in some good training sessions. This week it's I haven't taken any time off. I'm just pumping. I'm not going hardcore crazy in the gym. I'm just getting good pumps. Um, I've been back on diet since the day after the show. Like honestly, I didn't even go out to eat Saturday night. I
No
did.
kidding.
I had some cookies and stuff. Yeah, I didn't go out to eat. I wanted to go watch the show because I'm at the New York Pro, man.
Right?
At the freaking New York Pro, and watching Nick win was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
It was. I'm glad. I would rather experience that moment than going out to enjoy any type of food. So
Yeah. You'll never remember that
yeah,
meal, but getting to see a cool pro show, not to mention get to sit
man,
there as a winner. Of course when you're a winner, you want to hang out
exactly.
all night, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
And so
cool.
like a week or two was Mother's Day, and I didn't celebrate anything with my mom. So this upcoming weekend, Saturday night, we're gonna celebrate. So
It's cool. Well,
yep.
guys, be following along. Check out the Classical Queen and Alyssa. Like I said, man, this is fun. I was so genuinely happy to see that happen. I was yelling at my computer screen like, yeah, it was cool. So I can't wait to see too.
Thank you.
First year here, in the pro as a pro competitor now, you're gonna be going to the Olympia. So it's gonna be freaking mind blowing. So I can't wait to see you there. And like I said, I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Scotty, for having me. It was
All right,
awesome.
guys, for another episode here at Think Big Bodybuilding Media, I'm Scott McNally with IFBB Pro and New York Pro winner, Alyssa Kiessling. Cool. I'm going to hit the finish button here. It's going to go black.